Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Sideline Junkies. And today we will take you on a flight through the sports world, taking you through a recap of the games we did on Sunday, taking you through the news of today, give you some of the bad news that happened today, all in the course of this flight that we call the Tuesday Night Flight. I am the Midnight Rider. That is the gentleman Jack Carr in the top corner. Beside me is the boss man BJ. And up top, we got the big guy KG rocking with us. But the host tonight, getting us started, will be the boss BJ. Boss man, get us started.
Welcome to the Tuesday night flight at gate SJ24. Get your tickets ready. All right. Carry on. Very small. Put the heavy stuff underneath the plane. And we are rolling, gentlemen. Gentlemen. It's been a long day. Glad to see you all faces. Let's get this thing started. Let's start this thing right.
Yes, sir.
Actually, let's get
Do this.
Oh, back up. I'm backing up.
No. Go ahead. Nah, I know what you're gonna do. Go ahead. Let's start with your what?
Big news of the day. The New York Football Jets dismissed Coach Robert. How you say his last name?
Saleh.
Dismissed Coach Robert Saleh and had him escorted out of the facility. Gentlemen, we got to dive into this because I got something I want to kind of layer on this. Right? What happened here? Let's start with. Do we have the big guy KG, or is he just roaming right now?
I think he's roaming.
Okay, he's roaming. He on another data plan. Okay, cool. Let's start with the gentleman Jack. Go to Midnight Rider, and I'll give my thoughts, and then we'll kind of dive into what I'm thinking about. Gentleman Jack, what happened here?
Well, you've seen Aaron Rodgers upset with him on the sidelines, yelling at him, griping at him. I wouldn't be surprised Aaron Rodgers had a little bit to do with this, and I think this right here might be, Aaron Rodgers getting ready to coach, but I think the next step with the Jets, they're going to sign Devontae. I think they're going to sign Devontae Adams after this. So that's what I'm looking at there. Did he need to be yanked up out of the building? Damn near like being cuffed and thrown out. I thought that was a bit harsh. Didn't even get to talk to the guys.
Nope.
That's foul. You've been with them all summer. Is this his first year with them, or he was with them last year, guys?
This is a second, second or third. This is year 3.
Yeah, so he's got relationships with them guys, and for them to, throw him a box, pack your stuff, get on out of here is that's foul. That's foul in my book. So I don't know what to say, New York Jets, but I do think Aaron Rodgers had a lot to do with it. And the next move I think you're going to be seeing for the Jets is going to be Devontae coming over. Watch. What you got, Midnight Rider?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how true this is, but according to the Twitterverse, the X world, Saleh had been making plans to move on or demote the play caller, Nathaniel Hackett. I guess he came in the building with those plans and those ideas. Of course, he has to run that by the owner because he's technically the GM at the same time. Conversations were that he wasn't too happy about it. So I guess it became a thing of him or me. And the owner was like, bye. It's basically what it came down to, what I heard as the interaction. So that kind of explains him getting escorted out of the building because he probably wasn't too happy with the take it or leave it situation and the nature of the conversation. And of course, if you guys know, Woody Johnson isn't exactly one of the greatest ambassadors when it comes to he may have served as an ambassador, but he's not a great ambassador when it comes to dealing with coaches and players and that as such. I do think there's some validity to what Jack said, because I think that's just the next thing, because Aaron Rodgers runs the front office anyway. So why not? You've given him every person he's wanted, and the guys that he's wanted has let him down game in and game out. For some reason, they got Alan Lazard, and Lazard has dropped 2 touchdowns on Sunday. So if he wants to run in the ground and you want to let him do it, go ahead. I enjoy watching other teams now suffer through what we dealt with for 25 years. It's just so beautiful being on this side of it. Like that looks like literally tomorrow morning, I gotta find me a New York station, and I'm gonna go just listen to the radio for like an hour or two.
Oh
I do
my.
all the times. Like after we beat Cleveland, 92.3, sat there, listen to a little bit of that. Listen to them talk about how they wish they had kept Baker and
they should have kept Joe Flacco.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful.
Man.
Can I say something, fellas?
Yeah, absolutely. Fire away. You're not Roman, are you? Because I don't want you to get no $600-700 phone bill.
No, I'm not Roman. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll say this: when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, somebody asked a question on ESPN, and I apologize for background noise. I'm a shopping cart. I got to get out here and collect these cans, you know. Somebody said something about Aaron Rodgers, and is he now a coach killer? He got McCarthy fired in the middle of the season. Him and Saylor didn't get along because what was that? A couple weeks ago when he came over to the sideline, he was hyped up about the touchdown. He kind of pushed him off.
Yeah,
that right there. And then on top of that, now these are my sources, and my sources are different from the Midnight Riders, of course. Somebody brought up a point that while they were in London over the weekend, Robert Saleh had on a hat of a Lebanese flag.
Oh yeah.
And he's of Lebanese descent. Not the first time he's done it. But if you think about Woody Johnson don't play that. So
Woody
a lot of people that had something to do with it. It was more politically motivated than it was coaching. But you can't expect him to resurrect a corpse. The New York Jets are a corpse. You can't expect their resurrection overnight. And you got a 40-year-old A-Rod who can't stay upright. And you bringing in all these guys thinking that shit's going to work. It's not. It's not. This is not a coaching thing. This is a player thing. And I think Shannon Sharp said it earlier when Dan Orlovsky had something to say about the Jets as a whole. He blamed every other quarterback, but he wouldn't blame Aaron Rodgers this morning because he want to keep face and keep the buddy demeanor with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is your problem. I said it. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
It's not Aaron Rodgers' fault. It's Nathaniel Hackett.
Okay. Hold on. Every other year, and this is the truth because Uncle Shay said it. Every other year that the Jets have been a god-awful team, we blame the quarterback. We blamed Zach Wilson. You blamed every other quarterback they've had in there until you get to Rodgers. Now all of a sudden it's the offensive coordinator? No. Aaron Rodgers is the problem. Call a spade a spade. The problem is the quarterback. He's not the right quarterback for this team.
Man, I wish we could get the Matty Ice comment. Matty Ice, he says KG sounds like he's coming to us from Apollo 13. Man, hey,
what's up, V?
Listen to me.
One John step for the sideline junkies.
I love it. Raiders could be the real winner of this. They know the Jets want them, and that is 100% true. As the demand go up, I don't know if we're going to see that 6th or 7th round swap we've seen for these receivers for chump change. But here's my take on it. I blame everybody in the Jets organization. Aaron Rodgers, Nathaniel Hackett has been a subpar play caller for his entire offensive coordinator career. So I don't know where they thought they were going to put Nathaniel Hackett, and all of a sudden this magical green offense was going to rise out of the grass, and they were going to score touchdowns going to Alan Lazard. If this is how the Jets are run, I'm good with that because that's the AFC East. If that's if that's what it is over there, I'm perfectly fine with this. Okay, let me tell you something else. Aaron Rodgers is playing on one leg. Okay, you can see they showed a picture, a video of his leg. You can see it's a stark difference between one leg and the other leg. I forgot which one is the rehab leg, but one leg looks like it's real scrawny, and then the other leg is bulked up. I think the one that's scrawny is the one where he had the injury.
It's called atrophy.
Say it again.
It's called atrophy. Same thing. The same thing Dan Marino dealt with when he tore his Achilles. He came back and he had to deal with atrophy because you can't work that muscle out while it's in the cast. So it's going to be a significant difference.
And I blame Aaron Rodgers 100% for this because A-Rod liked to do his own thing in the offseason. He is 100% at fault for this. And I don't know. I don't know how the Jets training program is. I would love to have that grade where the players grade the team. But who knows if it would have been better if he worked out with the Jets. He wants to do his own thing, meditate, smoke. And now you hear you're hobbling. If you're hobbling as QB1, how you think your throws are coming out? There's no way you're getting any form of Green Bay Aaron Rodgers on one leg, right? At this point, whoever the backup, Tyrod, I think the backup is Tyrod, you got to put him in. It is what it is. You have a third-year coach, a third-year first-time coach, right? Salah hasn't been a coach before. So now you have to learn what I say about Mr. McDermott in Buffalo all the time, and we'll get to that. Now you have to you don't even know how to play chess. You're just laying out the checkerboard. You're just laying out the checkerboard trying to figure out red, black, this one goes here, third year. And now all of a sudden A-Rod comes in last year, freak injury, first series, he's gone. When he came to the Jets, Super Bowl. That's all Jets fans talking about. Super Bowl. He's down. You get the reincarnation of Zach Wilson and whoever else was back there. And now you get an Aaron Rodgers at 50% with Nathaniel Hackett calling the plays and a third-year head coach coaching the team, throwing to Allen Lazard. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get better than that. That's magical.
It gets better.
And they fired this guy. And Midnight Rider, he alluded to some things. And what KG said about Aaron Rodgers, I said that as soon as they released a statement, I think it was the owner saying that I spoke to Aaron Rodgers, but nothing about the coach. We spoke about something else. Why put that statement out there? Why put that statement out there? Yeah, he's exactly. Thank you for telling us you and Aaron Rodgers talked about getting the coach fired. And you're 100% right. So, gentlemen, do y'all want to add anything else? Because I want to dive into the AFC East real quick. Just real quick. One other stat, and I might be off by the number, but at last point I did research. I don't think the Jets have won the AFC East recently. So I think the AFC Jets the Jets have won the AFC East like 3 times since like the 1960s. If you want to talk about ineptitude, if you want to talk about dysfunctional, you got it all laid out in front of you. God, this feels so good to me. Do we have another Dan Snyder situation brewing in New Jersey? Or
New
York? Where the hell do they play at? New York, right?
Dude, they play in Jersey.
Dan Snyder situation in East Rutherford.
East Rutherford, New Jersey. I can't remember because they're not in New York. That's all I'm saying, But yeah, do we have another Dan Snyder situation where, like, hey?
I think the only reason it's not Dan Snyder is because he predates Snyder. Like, he's been around longer. The only problem is, like, people don't go up at the Jets just because of him.
They don't expect anything from the Jets. Nobody expects.
Right,
they
exactly.
When you land in DC and Burgundy and Gold, you got 5 Super Bowl trophies in the case. There was a standard here,
right?
There was a standard, a high standard, a leading standard, industry standard here. That's never been that way for the. Yeah, you had the Namath walk off, but that was luck. Now I don't want to say luck is the wrong word. That was the unicorn, And now if it had continued to roll like the Steelers and the Cowboys in the 60s and 70s, then you would have had a base for something. But the Jets don't have a base for. It's no expect. That's why when they got Aaron Rodgers, they were drooling. Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Okay. I mean, look, hey, y'all feel that way? This is a pissing match right here. This is like hold my beer. When I think of the New York Jets, that's hold my beer. That's what I think of. This is a disaster. Now you have a coordinator taking over. What the hell is he supposed to do? What is he going to do for the rest of the season?
He's going to listen to Aaron Rodgers, and the owner's going to probably be in his ear talking about what he wants to run. Like, if we want, we could do our, since Maddie just chimed in, we could do like the top 5 worst owners in the league.
But that is Daniel Snyder is, hey, you're the head coach, but this is the coordinator I want. You're going to stick with this coordinator. If I'm the head coach coming in, unless I'm just desperate for a job, and maybe Robert Silo was because it's his first job, I have control over my staff. I say when they go, when they come, when they take a piss. If I don't have that, I don't want it. You go to Andy Reid. Andy Reid has full control over his staff. McDermott does, even though he's behind Reid. The boy Harbaugh does. The boy in Cincinnati, Mike McDaniel does. Harbaugh and what you call him, wherever he is, the Chargers, full control over his staff. Shanahan.
Not everybody gets full control right away. So, like, Tomlin's had to be eased into full control. Like, they've eased coaches into full control sometimes. And it's not a sign of a bad organization because the football people they have do good things. But, I mean, if we want to talk about the worst owners, and then after we do that real quick, we jump right over to thoughts about – actually, no, let's do this. Let's do it this way. Let's finish the thoughts on the AFC East coaches. Because, B, you dropped something earlier. It was kind of like your hot take. What's your thoughts on the AFC East and the coaches?
You said I dropped something. Was it $20? Because I've been dropping shit all day. Don't say that. All right, now. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This is just, I don't have any sources. I ain't the Midnight Rider coming in on a horse. I ain't the big guy KG on I ain't got no source. This is just my personal opinion. I think you're going to see 3 total coaches in the AFC East lose their job. And I'll start down south in Miami, which is Mike McDaniel. Unfortunately, the Miami Dolphins have flown under expectation. No fault of Mike McDaniels. I like Mike McDaniels, actually. I like his game plans. He game plans very well. His team seems prepared, except when they play Buffalo. That's the only team that wipes them off the map continuously is Buffalo. So his problem is he has a QB1 and Tua that can't stay healthy. It can't stay upright. And when we all know, if you follow the NFL, if you don't, I'm going to let you know, if you don't have a upper echelon or a middle guy, like 15, that 10 to 15 guy, which Tua is, he's like a 10 to 15, 16 guy when you rank him in the league. You don't have a shot at winning. You don't have a shot. You don't have a shot at winning your division. Tua can at least move that offense. They put 70 up last year. They can move the offense if Tua's healthy. What's it say? Hey, what's up, fellas? Ray Show. Only time my brother behaves. So
we try, man. We try, Pamela. We try our best to keep him in line.
We got some shot callers and some different things going on. We're on a button, so we ready for them.
Go ahead, B. I'm sorry. I just want to get that in real quick.
So I think Mike McDaniel might get axed just because of pressure, because they haven't, they're not winning. They're struggling right now. And that's no fault of his own. It's just kind of the business moving on. Now, to Orchard Park, New York, and my Buffalo Bills. And I hope the big guy KG is listening because I'm going to drop a name. And I said this when Diggs left, like when the Midnight Rider said 20, 25 years of purgatory. I felt that because when Tom Brady came in for Drew Bledsoe, that was the end of the AFC East. Buffalo hasn't won until Josh Allen came. Buffalo hadn't won the AFC East title till 19 or 20. The Jets lucked up into one. Dolphins have lucked up into one. But here's the problem with the Buffalo Bills and Sean McDermott. And it's to a point where enough excuses. You've had the last 3 seasons where somebody's hurt, somebody big hurt on defense. You should be used to that by now. These guys should be coached up. You should be prepared to lose somebody big on defense. And yeah, Matt Milano is a big injury. Teron Johnson is a big injury. But if you went through this the last 3 or 4 years, there has to be a different approach. 1, to training, 2, to preparing the guys that's on the bench, because we've been through this. We've been through this over and over again. These guys got to be ready to step in. They got Terrell Bernard back last week. Here's the problem with Sean McDermott. Game planning sucks. This team comes out flat. They come out like the game is Sunday, and Saturday night, everybody got a text message like, shit, we got a game tomorrow. Where y'all at? That's how they come out. The last 2 games, that's how they come out in the play. And the reverse is for Buffalo and Miami. If Buffalo had Miami on the schedule, 17 games, they go to Super Bowl. They own the Dolphins. For whatever reason, they got the game plan. They got the thing for the Dolphins, right? And I praise Sean McDermott on sometimes just having the defense in the right place at the right time. He has a bend but don't break defense, being at the right. It's not super aggressive. They're not, coming in and just knocking your socks off. But here's the thing, right? I think the voice of Sean McDermott is dead on Buffalo, right? I really do. I really think that it's time. That voice has been there since 18, 19. I think it's time to move on. I think what you see from the Buffalo Bills, they got a small receiver issue. I think it's time to move on and grab somebody that got some edge to them to come in and light a fire under this team. I know it's not going to happen, and I'm about to be on the KG Mark Jackson NBA train. But the guy that comes to mind, the guy that's come in and taken over a team that's kind of already ready to go, is John Gruden. They need Chucky. They need somebody that come in. They can't go get the other name that comes out is Vrabel. They got to go get somebody that got a little edge to them. This team is too soft. And I say that, this is my squad. I say that like it hurts me to say it, but let me tell you something. CJ Stroud threw an interception first time in 222 attempts. You don't capitalize off of it. They got a fumble off of him. You don't capitalize off of it. Joe Brady, you telling me you get the ball in your territory and you don't have plays dialed up for your first round tight end, Dalton Kincaid? What? Go ahead, Midnight Rider.
No. Let's just go ahead and segue in and just jump right into it. You didn't already broke it down or started breaking it down. Let's get to it. Bills Texans 20-23. Texans win. Late minute, maybe time mismanagement. Gaff being a little too aggressive when you probably shouldn't have been. I don't know what it's called, but the Bills have a tie ball game. Ball probably backed up to near their goal line, and they throw 3 deep routes.
No time
off the clock.
So no time. Don't move at all.
Then they punt, and the Texans get a great punt return. And then you move forward, and they get the ball in the field goal range. And then the kicker kicks one through 23-20. This ball should have, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, it should have been an overtime. The first play should have been a run just to see what you could get. And if that run got stopped, you see if they're going to use their timeouts, if they're going to blink first in that scenario. If they do blink, then you run it a second time.
Run the ball again. Make them use their timeouts, burn some clock. And but what? This is a pattern. This is the pattern with Sean McDermott. Clock mismanagement, 13 seconds. Clock mismanagement, game mismanagement. It was a play where Josh Allen hits Dalton Kincaid. He tips toe on the sideline. They call it incomplete. Said he bobbled the ball. He didn't bobble the ball. McDermott, nobody upstairs challenges that play. That play could have moved the ball. First down. Josh Allen does his normal scrambling to the right. Ball moves, right? At the end of the game, there's a clear James Cook catches the ball right at the pylon on his helmet, clearly out of bounds. Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder. That's out of bounds, McDermott. He challenges the play. Like, are you serious? Look, like I said, I don't want to seem ungrateful. That was probably one of the sloppiest Josh Allen games. I still don't think he's thrown an interception this season. That was sloppy. That was absolutely sloppy. You're still underusing Kincaid. You're still underusing Knox. Curtis Samuel, nowhere to be found. There was a play where he might not have had enough time. There was a play on the scene. I forgot who he was throwing it to. Keon Coleman. He was trying to get Keon Coleman in the corner of the end zone. Mac Hollins had broke free off the scene. And if he had saw him, he was already committed to Coleman, it would have been a touchdown. But it's just like, I don't know what's going on with them. Because I feel like personally, Josh Allen should be good enough to make those receivers better. I just think it's play calling, time management, it's preparation. I don't know what they're doing in practice during the week.
All right,
That
so
was
let's do
a
this.
sloppy game.
Let's do this. Let's give you a little bit more time because I know you got more. But let's get Jack's thoughts and let's get the big guy. See what they feel.
No, we gotta move on. I don't want to talk about them no more.
Nah, it's a game, man. We still gotta talk about the game in retrospect.
BJ hit everything nail on the head, man. Time management was horrible. And like I said, some of the play calling I didn't understand. So they gave Houston plenty of time to get back in that game. And BJ, he the fan. He hit the clicker, man. We good on this. I am.
Big guy. All
Well,
right.
it's me. I heard a couple of names, and the thing is, Buffalo defense. This 2 years ago. This is the number one defense. Even with all the injuries, they were the number one defense in the NFL. Their defense is not aggressive enough. Where's that defense when you were under Perry Pugh and what was the other black D coordinator y'all had?
But that's the thing. This is not Perry. This is Sean McDermott's identity. McDermott's the defensive guy. Remember, they were a little bit more aggressive under Leslie Frazier. A little bit more. They were a little bit more aggressive. But this is McDermott's baby. Yeah, he got defensive coordinator and everything, but this is McDermott's personality.
No, it's
not aggressive. What is it?
It can't be his personality because he came up under Jim Johnson, one of the best blitz guys in the league. So
yeah, but you still you might have that you might have the tree. You're on that tree, and then you have a branch, but then another branches off. That chromosome didn't chromosome.
Okay,
right? He's off that tree, but he's still. We talk about the Shanahan tree. We talk about all these trees, but you still develop. You still at your core, you still have your own personality. McDermott has never been a heavy blitz guy. When he does bring the blitz, it don't get through. He could bring 12 people. Everybody gets stuck at the line.
Standard is standard.
Yeah, standard's a standard. It just is what it is. But this is what I'm saying. If that's his personality, a soft defense, he's a soft coach, and it's taking the team. What did I say Sunday? I said this is the type of team. If you got a little boo boo or scrape, you're not playing. Mac Hollins sprained his ankle. Not Mac Hollins. Khalil Shakir sprained his ankle last week. Man, if you don't get your ass back out there and go catch some balls on a sprained ankle, he probably won't play for 3 weeks. But this is the Buffalo identity. If something's wrong, okay, we're going to sit them down, sit them out. That's who they are, and that voice is dead. I think that voice is dead. I think you're going to see them move. We got to move on. As long as you got 17 behind center, your Super Bowl window's open, and you're basically gasolining and setting it on fire. You won 2 games impressively. Jacksonville, you've had trouble with. Then you go blow out the Dolphins. You beat Jacksonville, and then you have 2 weeks where it looks like you're an expansion team with Josh Allen behind center. You crazy.
All right, and just so we give some fairness to the other side of the ledger, the Texans did have a good ball game. They lost Nico Collins early in the ball game to a hamstring injury. CJ Stroud did CJ Stroud things. I think he's still one of the more impressive young quarterbacks when it comes to pocket presence and being able to dictate pace in a ball game and finding what he wants, no matter what you take from him. I think he's a guy that's smart enough that when he sees the coverage, he knows what it is, and he can identify what's hot and what's not. Let's continue with the slate real quick, and let's go. We're gonna do this a little bit backwards. We're gonna go out to Arrowhead and talk about a game that I thought was gonna be better than what it was, and the Saints were game early. So we had the Chiefs and the Saints. I hope I spelled that right. I hope I'm like that kid in the commercial. But Chiefs 26, Saints 13. You saw a little bit of everything from the Chiefs. You saw them find a way to get Travis back involved in the offense. You saw them find a way to move the football with Juju Smith-Schuster. You saw a little bit of a running game. And then you just saw Derek Carr miss some things. Where we want to just set this order up, if we can go Jack, B, and then the boss. I'm sorry, Jack, Ball, and Big Guy, and then I'll close it out for us.
Well, yeah, definitely wasn't an over like we all picked. The shootout. Pew, 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 pew. We thought it was going to be a shootout. But it could have been. It could have been a blowout. It should have been a blowout. It was a blowout. You just didn't see the touchdowns. But Kansas City kicked at least 4 or 5 field goals, maybe 4. And that's not Kansas City. So the Saints are lucky they ain't get humiliated by Kansas City, because that's what they did. They beat the piss out of New Orleans, in my opinion. And I don't know what's going on with Derek Carr. He's got an oblique injury. He took a shot in the stomach rib area. And hard for a quarterback to throw when that's bothering him. So we'll see what happens with Derek Carr coming back. But New Orleans, they wasn't in that game from jump, man, in my opinion. Kansas City blew them out, even though it was 26-13. It could have been 46-13. It really could have been. So what you got, BJ?
Yeah, man, look, the Chiefs keep finding a way to win. 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, and I always say this, the scary thing.
Scary thing is you playing hide and go seek.
Yeah, hey, I'm having some technical difficulties, but I was saying that the scary thing is, oh, that was you.
Yeah, he jumped in.
Yeah.
I apologize.
The Chiefs are far from playing their best ball, and they're 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
If they find a stride, just pencil in for Lombardi. Who's going to beat them? Unfortunately for Derek Carr, this is looking like Las Vegas, Oakland, whoever you want to say again, where he gets an injury and it's going to probably nag him for the rest of the season. And I don't know what happened to the Saints. Maybe Lady C can chime in another time. They look like they had found a stride, and that candle went out quick. So, like Jack said, this probably should have been 40-something-13 or 40-10. I thought the Saints would hang in there a little bit more, but that ain't what we got. So,
Go ahead, Big Guy.
I'll say this. I actually thought the Saints had a shot at winning this game. I really did, because I said it on Thursday. Number one, and I haven't arrived 5. Excuse me. It's Kansas City. Kansas City's undefeated, but they're winning by nope, it's not luck. They're winning by the skins of their collective teeth.
Mm-mm.
This is not a Kansas City team that you can be really afraid of. This is not Kansas City from the past. So that's why I was like, hey, this is going to be the Saints all day long. But I guess not. If Derek Carr is hurt, you can go ahead and expect him to be hurt for the rest of the season. So any success that you had and that you were going to have, you better go ahead and put in Taysom Hill now and keep it moving.
Well, the problem is right now, I think that was part of what they were missing the other night. Was they were missing some of Taysom Hill, and some of his diversity and stuff in their run game. I also think early in the season they relied a little bit on a heavy run game package against Dallas and Carolina, and I haven't seen them enough. But I know I didn't see that group last night, so that also bothers me a little bit. Is because you kind of went away from what was working. So that's kind of where I feel at. I think the Chiefs are winning, but a win is a win. And I tell people all the time, this ain't gymnastics. We ain't in it for the style points. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what the Russian judge or the East Germany judge say. If it's 26-13 and we got more points than they do, we won the ball game. So I'm not worried about that because that only helps them more because now you know you still in ball games. So now what's going to happen when you actually start playing good? Look at where that confidence level goes. And we all know if you get a little bit of confidence, that confidence could be a motherfucker, excuse the language. It could be a deadly drug. You get the right amount of confidence in your system and everything, ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no river wide enough. That's all I'm going to say.
And they doing it with injuries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They doing with injuries. It's like they don't even have Pacheco. Who's missing? Rice?
Pacheco, Brown.
Next man up.
And that's what I was saying about Buffalo.
They went 4 tight ends at one point last night.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I don't agree with what y'all saying, man. Yeah, they won a couple games by the skin of their teeth. They ain't winning them all like that. And like I say, yesterday's game, man, was not as close as it looked. If it was a nitty-gritty and a tight game, they'd have went for some of them 4th downs instead of kicking field goals. Kansas City would have scored 40 on them if they didn't kick all them field goals. So I think it was a blowout yesterday, even though it was a 13 or 10-point lead, 10-point game, 13 points.
It was a soft blowout, Jack.
And then y'all talking about Rice. You ain't noticed Xavier Worthy out there? I think that guy right there stepped right in Rice's shoes. The boy fast as all get out, man. So I disagree on a few things y'all say. So I think Kansas City looking sharp at 5-0. I mean, yes, can they get better? Yes, and that's going to be trouble for the league if they continue.
Another thing that's haunting them Buffalo Bills: Keon Coleman, Xavier Worthy. I'll just leave it there.
No, I think actually you took the right one. To be honest,
I think so too. I just think one is more game ready.
I think
more some time.
One is more.
Go ahead, Jack.
One is more involved in the game plan, I'd say. I don't think they got him involved in the game plan as much as they're doing Worthy over in Kansas City. I mean, Worthy's getting end of rounds, direct snaps, passes. They got him in the game plan in Kansas City. I don't think the Bills have Coleman in the game plan as much.
Game plan. Damn, didn't I say something about a game plan and Sean McDermott not having one? Damn.
I knew Jack was setting them up for that. That's why I didn't even comment. I was going to just let that go to the slaughter.
I did say game plan 2-3 times.
Talking about game plans and teams struggling, let's go ahead to the place where we had a little weather delay. And after the weather delay, we got the game finally started late on Sunday night. We got the Cowboys 20 over the Steelers with 17 points. I don't know, man. I think I fell asleep twice on this ball game.
Yeah, me too.
I probably couldn't tell you what was too much of what was going on because it was one of the worst Sunday night games. It was a Sunday night game with a Thursday night feel.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel that.
Absolutely. I will tell you this. I think they said Dak Prescott is the first person to throw two interceptions in 2 different days in the same game.
I saw that.
Oh man, that shit had me rolling. Yeah, I mean, fellas, I couldn't tell you shit about this game. I just know I picked the Steelers. I think I picked the Steelers to win.
I got you here. Let me see what we got. Yes, BJ took the Steelers in the under. Yeah. Everyone else took the Cowboys in the under, and we hit the under.
Yeah, I thought TJ Watt would have more and that Steelers defense will get the Cowboys out, but they didn't. And the Cowboys, hey, look, the Midnight Rider just said sometimes you got to win ugly. You got to win Thursday night style. A win is a win. I know CeeDee Lamb has some words for Dak on the sideline that's being played on the media. But win is when you get out of there, you figure it out for next week. That's all they can do. They got some things to figure out. So win helps you figure those things out.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jack.
No, Justin Fields. He was a pass above 50% completion percentage, I think, but I don't feel he hit enough of his targets. His long ball looked weak. I expect to see Russell Wilson here shortly. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised if it's this week. They say every week leading up that Tomlin has said, starting quarterbacks right here, starting quarterback. But they say this week he is not mentioning nothing yet. So expect to see maybe Russ come out after a couple losses. So
I think they dropping the ball with Fields. I think this is you've had somebody in this organization before that kind of fits that mold. And I say his name, Cordell Stewart. And I think they're dropping the ball. Fields kind of using him the same time. Not he don't have to punt the ball and do other things, but I think they could. The way they're using them is for the offense is for Russ and not Fields. I think when Russ comes in and steps into that, Russ got a better deep ball. Russ got some more zip on the throw, and that's not Fields. And I think they kind of misusing him a little bit, but that's my opinion.
But they got to get Najee Harris involved in the offense more.
Absolutely.
14 carries, all he got. 2 passes, all he got. You get that ball. You give him the ball out of the backfield on a screen pass, or give him a circle route, man. Najee's good catching the ball, dude. And I just didn't feel that Pittsburgh gave it to him enough. I know 16 touches, people might think it's a lot, but for a stud like Najee Harris, man, you got to get that boy the ball.
20-25 times.
Yeah.
Matty Ice said, "Who wants a campfire s'more?" I do. I definitely do.
Yeah, I dig s'mores.
Perry checking in, gentlemen.
What's up, Perry?
That's what you did. Hope I missed the sailor talk. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
And the Buffalo talk.
And the Buffalo talk. We did AFC. Speaking of Sailor, Antonio Boone said a while back, Sailor can go back to San Francisco and be the DC.
I just don't give coordinators time to do nothing. Jesus.
I didn't say it. But this Cowboy game, Pittsburgh was on my Arrive 5.
Oh.
I wasn't feeling Pittsburgh to the point of, oh man, this is a good team. They're doing no. I wasn't feeling them to that point. I really think this may have been a Pittsburgh loss and a Dallas win, but I think this exposed Dallas a little bit more. Because Dallas can win the close games at times, but when it comes down to it, as you can see when they were in, Baltimore and New Orleans, they can fight from their back. But if it's an even fight, they can't do anything. Dallas, for lack of a better term, and this is football fan, this has nothing to do with the Commanders. Dallas is trash. Dallas team is constructed as trash. The Great Wall of Dallas 2.0 that you had down there is gone. You don't really have a run game. Emmitt Smith is not walking through that door. Tony Dorsett is not walking through that door. Hell, Derek Hambrick is not walking through that door.
Who they got?
Dowdell had 87 yards the other night.
Dowdell, yeah, he did get off a little bit.
But
Dak threw for
can he be
352.
consistent with it?
Well, I mean, again, we're talking about 5 games in. We're talking about a guy starting a running back who wasn't your starter last year. Some of the stuff gotta come together and start. You gotta start figuring out roles. I think the problem with this ball game is you got 2 teams that Pittsburgh doesn't have. Pittsburgh is known for keeping wide receivers, and this is the first time they've got a glutton of bad receivers that can't really do anything special. Calvin Austin has special speed, but he's 5'4" and 135 pounds. They got Van Jefferson, who's seen his better days. You got George Pickens, who, if this was MMA, he'd be great. Unfortunately, he's a terrible wide receiver at times. He doesn't run it. I mean, I watched his all-22, and some of his takeoffs was just god awful. So that's just the part about that, and that's about all this time I'm gonna spend on this game.
He has an old Randy Moss complex.
That's being too nice.
But no, and when I say that, I mean, you remember when Randy was like, I play when I want to play. And if he knew the ball wasn't coming to him or he wasn't a primary target, he didn't push off. He may have got a little engaged, but he didn't push off. And I was like, okay, you're going half-hearted. And I say this all the time when I see guys in any sport going half-hearted. You look around at any fan. Look at the guys in college. Look at the guys in high school. It's millions of guys that would love to switch places with you. It's millions of 9-to-5 guys that would love to go through the grind that you go through every day to play a sport that you love. You play a kid's game for a king's ransom. And you can take the money out of it, and there's still guys that will go through that grind just to say, hey, I'm playing the sport that I love.
I gotta disagree with you about the play. When Randy Moss made that statement, he had already the term Moss had already been coined. Like ain't nobody ever say, ain't nobody going out here and say picking. I got picking.
They never, what they do.
Not ever.
If you got grabbed by your face mask and thrown to the ground, you got picking.
That's a finishing move on Mortal Kombat. That's what that is. But he ain't done nothing. He ain't done nothing on the football field to warrant him taking plays off. I don't. It's a Pittsburgh receiver phenomenon. I don't know where they getting these guys from. The Juju Smith-Schuster. Who's the other guy? It's somebody else.
Mike Wallace,
Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, it's these guys. The crazy thing is they have the talent and they get here like they won Super Bowls already. They just turn into these monsters, and I don't know what it is. And Mike Tomlin got to take some blame for that.
No, he actually gets credit for it, for keeping it going so long. I think the problem is they're at a point now where they don't have one of those guys. I think they're in that spot where they missed out on something somewhere. I thought Pickens was a bad choice, but I understood it because Pickens has the upside of to be like a Randy Moss. The only problem is he got the downside to be something else, you know. So what do you want to do here?
They let everybody leave. I mean, they never should have let Schuster leave.
Why did Schuster was
man? He was still balling. He had a good game this weekend.
Hey, every now and then
take him on my squad.
All right, well, you can keep him.
What's the boy that went to Chicago?
I don't want garbage cans getting steaks.
Who?
More?
Claypool.
Yeah, Claypool.
Claypool was in Pittsburgh.
He done sprained his toe. He in Buffalo now.
I got the garbage bag getting full. Let me take garbage out.
Yeah, and
we're talking about Claypool and all these guys. I gotta take the trash out. Hold on a second.
In the Dallas game, though, I tell you, Dak's numbers were good. I mean, 29 to 42. That's a great percentage there. 360 was it 352? The only thing that was bad on his shot was them 2 interceptions. Other than that, he had a great game. I don't talk like that about Prescott often.
Well, let's go ahead and get to the fourth game before we get to the game that everybody with the panel is mostly fans of and has KG's background. So let's talk about. Did I just delete the wrong thing? Nope, I didn't.
Green Bay, yeah.
Packers versus the Rams.
I got this one right. Jeez.
I mean, we had the Packers come in 24-19 over the Rams. I forget what the over-under was. Jack may know that.
49-5.
All right.
49-5. We all met that. All our 5 games were under.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. Washington game was over. Excuse me. On that last touchdown by Cleveland.
Exactly. The backdoor over.
Mm-hmm. Ouch.
Whoa.
Ouch.
Whoa. Any grease with that? Chris,
oh boy.
Busted up somebody's slip.
All right. So Boss, Jack, KG.
Packers. Hey, look. They were supposed to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were supposed to win this game. They came in, they did what they were supposed to do, and they got out with a W. That's really all it is to it. You just one of the wins, you kind of get back on track, get everybody going. And, the Rams are sneaky, man. They just sometimes they come out and lay an egg, and then other times, like I say this about the Dolphins when they play anybody else but the Bills, but if the Rams play the 49ers all year, they be 17-0. Like they get up and they get up, they got a team, but you know what they really got? They have a freaking game plan. Preparation. That's why they win these games. Sean McVay. I can game plan against the best team with my scrubs. That's what they have. That's why they're so competitive, because they have a coach that can implement a game plan. They don't have a coach that hit you up 1:10 and Sunday morning, be like, y'all know we got a game today, right? Playing leaving 50 minutes. I'm sorry. Go ahead, y'all.
That
The Rams hung in this as best they could. I mean, they a little limping with some injuries. They need Cooper Kupp back bad. Coop's just too much to that team, man. I mean, he's good. 7 to 10 receptions, 80 to 100 yards. I mean, they missing some Cooper Kupp. But Green Bay did what we said they would do. Love had a comfortable game, was in control. So Green Bay did what we said they were going to do. So that's what it is. To you, who's next? Midnight Rider?
KG.
No, I'm a little. I don't even remember who I picked, but I know that the Rams are a mash unit. The injuries are starting to pile up, but I'm starting to wonder: is it also the injuries as well as a Super Bowl hangover?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to show you. I want to share this with you real quick. The Rams, Stafford, 29 for 45, 260, 1-1. The receiving, Whitting, 10 targets, 7, 89. Atwell, 10 targets, 6. Parkins, 13 targets, 7. I mean, like we say, they're missing both of their star receivers, and it's just they don't have that guy. We just talked about not having that guy in Pittsburgh, that game breaker. We talked about not having that game breaker when Buffalo let go of Diggs. He's not a game breaker, and I think that's what this is. They don't have that weapon on offense, but they look like they moving the ball. Like you still got Stafford, and like I really think. Don't quote me on this. I think you're going to find the next star receiver on this squad that's going to kind of like emerge as a go-to guy before you get your two main guys back. I just wanted to say that real quick. I'm looking at it, and it's just.
I mean, he had tight ends were his main targets with Whittingham and Parkinson's. They probably got the most targets. They both had 7 receptions. So it looked like he doesn't have that out there. So he's leaning on his tight ends, kind of like a crutch. That's
joys of the West Coast offense. I mean, your primary target in the West Coast offense is mostly the tight end. But I mean, everybody's not going to run it the way that the great Bill Walsh did, where he could tell you in film study, don't break this route off, because when you do it, it's not going to be anybody near you for 7 to 10 yards. It's not going to happen like that all the time. But if that's what he has to do, great. But he doesn't have the same weapons he had 2 years ago.
Mm-mm.
And it's crazy in itself, but I'm kind of wondering, is it a hangover as well as injuries? That's just my thoughts on the Rams. As far as Green Bay goes, Green Bay will go as far as Jordan Love takes them. Mm-hmm. If they get that man a running back, a young stud that can carry the ball, I'm talking about 3 down back, that can carry the ball 20 to 25 times to take the pressure off of him, you might be looking at Green Bay being an NFC leading team and quite possibly one of your Super Bowl contenders.
I kind of want to disagree with you tonight, because I think they have that in Josh Jacobs. I think their problem is
how does Josh
How
does Josh Jacobs?
He's like 25, 26.
what's the running back shelf life?
You don't believe in the running back shelf life.
I've said this once before. I said most typical
You don't
running
believe
backs.
in don't come on here changing your story.
I'm not
Trying
changing my
to
story.
fit in.
15-minute
Trying to fit in
conversation.
with the crew. Now you want to become a Shanahan aholic and
No. I never said. See, here's the thing: you're getting Josh Jacobs, but you're not getting Oakland Josh Jacobs, the touchdown machine Josh Jacobs. You're not getting that Josh Jacobs.
You don't need that Josh Jacobs if you got Jordan Love.
the
You need
problem.
something to take the pressure off. A good
problem
running game will make your quarterback more effective. Because what do? When they load 7 to 8 in the box and you go play action, what you gonna do? You're going right over the top.
To who?
Because they're expecting to run, but you have to have the run game in order for that to work.
The problem the Green Bay Packers have is all their receivers are young guys. Most of them are second year to third year guys. The dude Dobbs threw a hissy fit and got suspended for conduct detrimental to the team.
Mhm.
You got Jalen Reed. You got the other kid that they drafted, number 9. He's hurt. So they have people. Problem is, some of them are hurt, some of them are still inconsistent, and that's where the problem comes in. And they're getting nothing out of their tight end position. Your tight ends are giving you like 2 catches, 35 yards. So if you can't stretch the middle of the field, then what are we doing? Like it's not like I understand what you're saying about the running game. I get it. I like what you're saying because you actually might be coming over to the mothership. You know what I'm saying? Shanahan clan for life. You know what I'm saying? But dude, I think this is more byproduct of Green Bay's receiving core being mediocre, and I think their tight ends they need a tight end, to be honest with you. And I think maybe when Love gets back healthy, he'll start going back to Musgrave. But right now, they're struggling in that category, and I think that's where their issues lie. Anybody got anything else before we get off of this?
Sign Mercedes Lewis, yes.
No, I don't.
What?
No, let's go.
Hey,
Let's go to our final game, please.
Yes, I will definitely do that. I will oblige you. The final game. Commanders 34, the Cleveland Browns 13. Let's start with BJ. Maybe we could do like the guys and do rock, paper, scissors to see who goes next. I don't know.
Of course, you're gonna start with the balls. Look, the ball's having technical difficulties, so I apologize for not being on screen. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I've been telling you the last couple of weeks. Give me the Commanders, NFC East. The offense is rolling and still has not yet hit a pinnacle of just like that. That you ever seen a commercial? This is a guy thing. You seen a commercial of the sports car, the Corvette rolling, and they got an inside of the engine, and the mobile one is just lubricating the engine, and the pistons moving up and down, and you hear that Corvette pull off. It ain't even got there yet. It hasn't even got there yet. This Corvette's still warming up in the driveway. They deciding if they want the 20-inch wheels or the 19-inch wheel. They already got approved. They already got approved to drive it off the lot. And it looked good. It's just sitting there. You still haven't even driven it yet. You got a rookie QB in there leading this team. You can see the change in the guys that's been there for a minute, and just having that. You go back to last year and that gloom and doom, tired of being here, tired of losing, tired of doing this. To now, this is serious, and you can see the change in play. You got to give Jaden Daniels a whole bunch of credit. You got to give Dan Quinn. You got to give the ownership. You got to give everybody their props right now. It's working right now. You got a guy in there that now the Eagles, the Giants, and the Cowboys are shaking their head, being like, "We're in trouble. This is a franchise guy. We're in trouble for the foreseeable future." They're gonna run through these teams like, you mark my word, they're gonna run through these teams like X-Lax coming up. I ain't trying to jinx them, but they look good. And Dan Quinn being a defensive guy, he's figuring out the defense on the fly. That's all you can do. Make adjustments, have a game plan. Game plan. The things you go into the game, but you develop it during the week. And when Sunday come, you implement a game plan. God, if you were listening to the show, you get that. But if you weren't, you just go back. But look, man, this team, I love what I see with this team. And then you got, they beat the Browns, they beat the Giants, they beaten the teams they're supposed to beat. You're supposed to win against certain teams when you ascend to a certain level, and they're not just beating them, they're beating the brakes off of them. They're taking these teams' will. That's what you're supposed to do with lower tier teams. They'll get their test later on, but right now they are doing what they're supposed to do, and they still have room to grow. And you still have, I say it, this offense is flowing, but they're going to get put to the test, and I think Jaden Daniels is going to he's going to pass that test with flying colors. You guys can fight amongst yourselves who's going next.
I'm just gonna step right up. Holler at me. Yeah, like I said last week, the offense is looking right. They're doing the right things. We got Eckler back this week, hit Terry Long. But let's talk about the defense that showed up. The defense showed up Sunday. 13 points, I take that all day. And Mr. Allen was there was a sighting. There was a Mr. Allen sighting in the backfield for that sack he got. So we're going to take him off the milk carton. Let's see if he can keep on balling. But you got to look at everybody else. Bobby Wagner had 1.5 sacks. Armstrong had a sack. Luva had 2.5 sacks. He played his best game as a skin Sunday. So I want to give the defense big ups because I had been wondering where it was. So offense did what it did, man. I like Eckler back on kickoffs. I'm telling you, he's going to break one this year. You watch. Well, he already broke one and got called back, I believe.
Yes.
So, everything's coming together, I just had to be cautious and make sure it's right. Still got a couple more games before I put both feet up.
Get that powdered sugar out, baby.
Yeah. You got a couple more games there, BJ. But yes, they are coming together, and it's nice to have wins Monday morning, man. God dang, you hear crickets out there now. You know what I'm saying? Where they at? So, yeah, great job, Washington. Hope the luck continues.
KG, you want to address Matt's comments? Oh yeah, there we go. Right, I know what you're saying.
Button.
Maddie says KG was so wrong on this one. I mean, how could he be so wrong? I don't know, Maddie. I just this team, I don't understand. They're so wayward. It's just like I don't understand what their motivation is, where they're coming from. I don't get it. I'm lying because I said it on Sunday. It's 2024. We got elections coming up. Frankie Louvu for president, please, because he was all over the place Sunday.
He sure was.
Oh my God, the way the defense is flying around.
Hold on, I got to stop you there because a certain host that rides in on a horse kind of dogged him out and said that you're going to see the guy in Cleveland they should have drafted. Somebody said that on this particular show.
Okay.
I'm trying to see where. Oh, there you go.
I know.
Whoa! I knew. I was waiting for this. So, who forced the fumble? JOK.
He did.
Who had a sack? JOK. Who had an interception? JOK. And this had nothing to do with Luvo. This had everything to do with Jamin Davis. But I'll let you guys imbibe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the word I want to use? I was just going to say, I would let y'all have y'all way with the truth. But my guy balled out.
Jamin Davis had an interception yesterday? It's
No.
not in the stats. What you talking about?
No. JOK had an interception. He picked off Jaden Daniels at the
kid from the Browns.
Yes. And Daniels, he snapped back real good too. When he threw his first interception last week, I was trying to get an eye on him. As he's coming out the field, he was solid. Head wasn't shaking, nothing. He came off the field like a professional. And the same thing happened yesterday after the interception, man. So the boy's got some maturity to him, and I'm
He
liking
has
that.
no memory whatsoever, and that
I,
you have to have that as a quarterback to know that. All right, when I get it back next time, we're gonna score, and that's that. Man, that is so nice to see.
I see it.
Go ahead, KG. I think we stopped you.
Oh no. This is something that I wanted to address too. Matty Ice said Watson turning out to be the worst trade and sign in NFL history. People were giving him sugar honey iced tea Sunday because he was down and he walked off the field and they had to take a timeout. And everybody's, oh, he's quitting on his team. He's quitting on his team. No, they had 12 men in the huddle. Like, is it a bad situation? Yes, it's a bad situation. I don't know what in the world's going on. This ain't the Deshaun Watson that I talked up before the draft coming out of Clemson. This ain't national champion Deshaun Watson. This ain't Houston, Texas Deshaun Watson. I mean, I think the stress of all this stuff has really gotten to him. I don't see him being in Cleveland past this season. They'll find a way. BJ has always said it. When I said it wasn't possible to find somebody to take Bradley Beal's contract, it happened. I think I said it wasn't possible for somebody to take Gilbert Arenas' contract. It happened. Somebody will take that contract. Somebody will eat it. And Maddie, I'm sorry, but it might be the day.
Always somebody is always a suitor, and sometimes it's just you owe me one.
I don't know about that.
All I'm gonna say on that is, I think the guys on, I think Greg Olson said it best a little bit. I think this offense is partially bad coaching because some reason Kevin Stefanski maneuvered his offense for everybody else. But the problem is Stefanski hasn't made this comfortable for Watson. And I think the other problem is, KG, I think you said it. So I think today, to me, it was kind of interesting today. The newest case that came out got settled real quick. So maybe that's something else that could be in the background that was hindering the man. And maybe if they have a come to Jesus moment between him and Stefanski, because this ain't just the Stefanski's job on the line. This is Andrew Berry. This is how people deal with ownership. Like, they can't fail here. And somebody got to sit people down in the room and be like, all right, all we got. It's CMB in here. Like, I can't back off of trading for you. And you can't be the reason I fail, because the second you fail, I don't get any other chances.
You just tell him what Deshaun Watson needs to do to get back on get right.
We gotta set up massages, baby.
Gotta
we gotta go on IG. Look. I've been scouting on IG. I know where the models are. All Deshaun gotta do is call me. We make sure they do massages. We get the table set up. Boom, we get him back in business. He'll be back in stride again.
It must not be as good in Cleveland as it was in Texas and Houston. So he needs something to get right. He needs to drink some get right.
When the organization isn't facilitating it, it's a little different. But
right.
Selena Carr with a great observation. Jaden is doing great, has so much more potential yet to come. NFC East, look out. I totally agree with this. I think we're at week 5, and I'm almost scared to think about what he's going to look like in week 12. And that's with the hope. If you want to say up with hope, down with dope, the hope comes from Jaden is the fact that when you watch him play, he seems to get better each and every week, and he always responds. This team hasn't scored over 30 points in 3 consecutive victories since I don't know. I think I was in middle school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jack probably had an afro then.
I think they in victories. I think it was 91. I think period it was 2015.
Talking about them victories, KG.
And victories 1991.
All right, and since we're talking Commanders, even though this man never wore a Commanders jersey, he is part of the Washington franchise history. So we have to give some love and some time talk about Pat Fisher. Rest in peace, Pat Fisher. I'm gonna go first because I think I have. I know KG watches like all the Super Bowl specials and NFL Network and all that stuff, so he's probably got more to say than I do. I just remember watching or seeing that Pat Fisher used to go up against a 6'7", 6'8" Harold Carmichael, and he went up like it was nobody's business. And when you want to measure a man, you measure his heart. And for a man to be in that situation and to come out fighting every time, I salute. I want to salute the man. I've always thought he was a under-recognized corner just for some of the people he had to guard, and with his stature. They always say you can't measure the fight in the dog, or you can, what is it? You can measure some, I don't know. I'm mess up the saying. So
I don't know this one.
Fool me once. Shame on you.
Yeah, I felt like George Bush just now.
Fool me twice, can't get fooled again.
Yeah, you can't get fooled again, dog.
I'll say this, and I'll turn it over to Jack because I know Jack got way more than I got. Pat Fisher has always been, him and Darryl Green, always been the ones that smallest dogs in the fight, but had the most heart.
There we go.
And Pat Fisher, my Uncle Davey used to tell me about Pat Fisher when I was a kid. He was like, I always liked him because he like 5'8", but would knock you in the next week. Okay. Then once my uncle said, hey, I like so-and-so because they'll knock you in the next week. All right, that's what I'm playing like. That's what I'm gonna knock you in the next week now. Because that's what it was. And then he came over from the Cardinals and he became, I think he was number 6 in the all-time in interceptions when he retired with 56. And it was him on one side, Mike Bass on the other. And they could stop the pass. Only thing in 72 is they couldn't stop the run. If they could have stopped the run, they would have beat the Dolphins that year. And they were favored by 9. But he was a part of George Allen's Over the Hill game. And absolute legend, man. And I know we throw that word around a lot, but sometimes when I say legend, I don't mean legend all the world. I mean legend in this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he is. He's a legend in this franchise. Jack, I know you got it.
Yeah, no, Pat Fisher, let alone being one hell of a ball player, he was one hell of a nice guy. I leaned on the bar with him multiple times. I played a lot of golf tournaments that he was involved in. And I actually picked this ball up when I was young and got it signed by the 2 Nebraska Cornhuskers, in which is where Pat Fisher went. And you can see the Pat Fisher on there. And my man, the dancing bear, Ron McDowell, D lineman, hell of a ball player for the Skins as well. I used to sit down with Ron McDowell, Pat Fisher. They was best friends. They was best men in each other's wedding, goddads to each other's kids. I mean, they were frick and frack, them two, and they was jokesters, man. Funny as heck. I used to sit back and talk Over the Hill gang. That's when I got into Washington football. You know, George Allen, all them guys, Chris Hamburger, Billy Kilmer. You know, I can name names for days, but seeing Pat Fisher, like you said, he's small. He used to lay the lumber. He would lay the wood. And he ball hawk too for how small he was, man. Quite a few interceptions there. I just, you know, it's going to be different. I haven't seen him in a couple of years because his health has been declining, that he hadn't been able to come out to these events that I usually see him at. But he won't be forgot, man. Rescuing for life right there, Pat Fisher. So, yeah, everybody put one up for Pat Fisher tonight. It's a shame, but, you know, that's what happens. Did anybody have Pat's age?
84.
84. Wow. Yeah, he lived his life great, man.
I got a question for you.
What's that, man?
In your travels, because if you tell me yes to this question, we're gonna have some talking to do for the rest of the week.
Oh Lord, who you want to know about?
You ever sat down with Sonny and Billy?
Sat down with Billy, had coffee with Billy. Never the two together. No.
Okay.
I was looking for my boy. I get a phone call in the middle of the night, like 2:00 in the morning, and somebody found my boy's phone. I'm like, why the hell am I the one to be called? You the last one he called. So I go there to bring his phone to him that morning. And, my buddy's trying to smooth me, Redskins, to keep me not being mad. And I see Billy, and I just set the phone on the table and beeline towards Billy. And I says to him, hey, good morning. I think I'm old enough to say this. How you doing, Billy? I didn't want to call him Mr. Kilmer like I did as a kid. And we sat down and talked. He was reading USA Today. We talked about world news. Then we talked about Pat, and we talked about cancer. And I told him my father had passed from cancer. And he asked about my dad. What did your dad do? I told him he was a root, for a living. And then I told him he played ball in D.C. growing up. And I mean, Billy really asked me all this stuff. It was one of the most awesome talks I've had with a ball player. That's probably top 5. Talking to Billy Kilmer one-on-one with coffee. But no Sonny. I met Sonny when I was really little, man. It was him. It's going to blow you now. That's right. The other one's your boy. Sonny and Johnny U at the Dancing Crab.
Really?
Northwest D.C. Yes. I was little, man. I was probably 7. And I didn't know the spectacular, the amazement of them two being there. My father did. Ran me right up on them. I got him to sign it was either a napkin or a coaster or something. And yeah, I don't know where it's at. It got mixed up. Like I said, I was 7. But yes, Sonny Jurgensen and Johnny Unitas was sitting in the Dancing Crab. I think it's Wisconsin Avenue, I believe. Northwest. I've seen John Riggins doing some funky stuff there in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All the Redskins used to go there after the game.
Allegedly.
I allegedly saw it.
Allegedly.
But all the skins just go there. My dad would bring me in there every once in a while. I'm not sure. I doubt that still happens.
All right.
But yeah, no Billy and Sonny together though, KG. No, I didn't catch that one.
Fellas, we gotta move real quick, and then we gotta moonwalk out of here.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So right now, all of the MLB series is a 1-1. We do have an update. The Mets won today 7-2. So they're up 2-1 in their series. The Dodgers and the Padres are about to get started here in a little bit. Any thoughts, Jack? Any thoughts, guys, before we move on?
I thought the Detroit game yesterday, Scooble threw a hell of a game. And then Cleveland threw every pitcher they had. I tell you, they tried their best. They just couldn't get the bats going. 3 hits, man, it's not going to get you a win. And then the game today, everybody got a hit for New York except for Soto and Torres, and they lost 4-2. That's doesn't sound like it. You would see that with a team getting that many hits. And then Wednesday, man, we got all 4 series going Wednesday starting at 3 p.m. So we got day ball. We got a 3 p.m. game with the Cleveland, Detroit. Then we got Philly, New York, 5 p.m. And New York Yankees, Kansas City, 7 p.m. LA Dodgers against San Diego, 9 p.m. That'll be Wednesday.
KG, you got a WNBA playoffs update for us?
Mm-hmm.
Well, WNBA playoffs. Jeez. Put me on the spot, why don't you? Right now, the Minnesota Lynx are up 53-34, and that is game 5. It's halftime right now. They're up on the Connecticut Sun. The Liberty have already moved on to the finals. They're waiting the winner of this game right here. They beat the Aces 76-62 back on Sunday. So we're looking at game 5. The winner of the Lynx and the Sun go on to the finals. Perry called this a couple of weeks ago. He said the Liberty were going to take this over. So
I agree with Perry. I really do. I mean, they beat the best team in the league in the Aces.
Yep.
I don't see either team having nothing for the Liberty. It might even be a sweep.
Last time I felt the Liberty, this last time I can remember was when they went up against the Comets, and the Comets were about to sweep them, and Teresa Weatherspoon hit that 3/4 court shot that banked in off the backboard. Broke my goddamn heart. I just knew we was getting ready to celebrate right then, even though we did the next game. But geez, I knew we was getting up out of there with a win, and she banged that thing in.
Nah, man.
But it's the last time that I think they were contenders. Like to this point, where they're like favorite, where nobody's going to beat them. I don't know, man. You might be hanging a banner in New York.
All right, guys. Final thoughts before we get out of here.
Just going to the week having a game plan. That's all. That's all I got to say. Going to the week having a game plan.
Still on that
planning out
game
your
plan.
week. I'm just saying, it helps to have a game plan so you know what the hell you're doing when you get there. That's all I'm saying. That's all the boss got.
I can't say no more after that. Game plan.
I know we're in the quarterfinals, getting down to our final four for the greatest fictitious sports show ever, the Gridiron. Couple teams struggled in the playoffs. A&M took somebody behind the woodshed. We ain't gonna say no names, KG.
That's all right.
With
You
no
say what you
Vaseline. No Vaseline.
Maryland did take care of Texas A&M for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I think Jimmy's on the same track he took last year. I think not last year, but the last season we played, I think his first round matchup was North Carolina. I think his second round matchup was Clemson. So we might want to double check that. But I think that's the exact same route he took to the national championship last season. The last season we played, because now we're on season 2 of the Gridiron. KG.
You're not going to speak on the Maryland dismantling Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. You're not going to speak on that?
Well, I mean, I figured that was taken care of in the show. That was happening when I wasn't around. So, I don't know. Sunday, all of a sudden, I see the gridiron on, but no, I mean, hey.
It was a special presentation. Please stop it, man. Stop it.
I might have to go to Death Row Records. That way, my producer gonna be all my videos.
Dang. Oh man!
Hey, look, Puffy chasing you around.
Nah. That's the only thing I.
If the gentleman from Alabama handles his business tonight, this will be an all-user semifinal.
Yep.
Maryland and Michigan are already set, and Oregon is awaiting the winner of Alabama. Was it Oklahoma?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought he beat Oklahoma last night.
Dario hasn't played.
He played last night.
I didn't see the game.
Yeah,
I swear.
That was.
Shout out to X-Man. I think he won his bowl game.
He did.
Yeah. He won his bowl game. So shout out to X-Man. Handle Virginia. So
with the white on whites, like, bruh.
Hey, man, you gotta play in style. I switch my helmet because I'm like, I can't have 2 red helmets on the field. The other team, like Wisconsin, somebody got to switch helmets.
He goes white jersey against white jersey. So KG is
serial killer. That's hard.
Oklahoma last night. I might have been looking at something else.
Nah, he ain't played yet. You know the gentleman from Alabama, late arrival, limousine coming in, red carpet. When you see the spotlights in the sky, that's when Alabama's about to play.
Well, if it's anything like that Alabama Vanderbilt game, was it Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
Yeah. You better hope it ain't.
Ooh, doggy.
You better hope it ain't. You better hope it ain't. Or like Ohio State last year. You better hope it ain't, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I think BJ and his Terps gonna take it.
Hey man, we got a revenge game, and he been waiting for me. Michigan is waiting for me. Trust me. Trust and believe. There's gonna be a battle.
I have to check that one out.
You got a final thought, KG? Because I don't know if
y'all done blew him up, man.
We gotta go. I don't have anything.
Y'all blew him up, man. Say he didn't even show up to the game.
All right, so for the big guy KG, for the gentleman Jack, for the boss BJ, I am him, he is I, and I am the Midnight Rider. Nobody can be this fly. Thanks for coming out. God bless and good night.
Good night.